All right, welcome to our marketing broadcast tonight. I just polled you guys a minute ago. I know you're not seeing this now if you're watching the recorded webinar, but a minute ago before I hit the record button, I surveyed everybody, and the vast majority of people who are here with me live don't know much about what we're looking at here on the screen, which is the Moz tool, Moz.com's Open Site Explorer, it's called. For those of you guys, there was a fifth of you who knew quite a bit about it, and maybe 10 or 15% of you who have at least heard of it. Those of you guys who know about this, what is it for me? In the chat box there, why don't you just explain to me real quick what this tool is and why we care about it from a marketing standpoint. And then I'll demonstrate tonight how to use it, and hopefully you guys can go away using this to help drive more traffic to your website. So I'll give you just a minute. Give me some feedback there in the question window. And if you're new to these webinars and none of this makes sense right now, just know that it will. This is a bit more of an advanced training for marketing a website. If you're wondering how to get here while I'm getting some feedback from you, you can do it by just going to OpenSiteExplorer.com. And I'll show you how that works. OpenSiteExplorer.com. And that should bring it up. Oh, whoops, I spelled it wrong. I guess it helps to spell it right, doesn't it? There we go. It'll take you to a screen that looks like this. Now, this is part of the Moz tool suite, which means that for you to use it on an unlimited basis, you'll need a Moz membership, which costs a few $100 a month. I'm not advocating that you get a Moz membership. Rather, I would advocate that you sign up for a free trial and use it to death. If you love it, keep it. But most of you guys only need to use it for a month or so, and then you can cancel it, and then you won't pay anything. Make sure you mark that calendar, because inevitably, those of you who I work with that sign up, there is a percentage that always forget and end up having to pay that first month. So don't do that. Make sure you mark your calendars and cancel it. But you have to sign up with Moz. So you'd go to Moz.com and sign up with their pro or whatever their main membership account is, and you'd have access to it. I know that without a membership, you can use it a couple of times a day, usually. So you can do a couple of searches within here during the day, and then it'll stop you and say you've hit your limit. So as long as you don't do a whole lot of research here, you don't necessarily have to get the free trial. Okay, let me get off of that. Let's see what some of you said. Michelle, you said ways to tell which keywords rank high in Google. Not as much, no. So you're thinking more of like the keyword tool in Moz. I think that's what you're thinking of. I think you're thinking of Moz.com/Explorer, which is this. Or sorry, let's see. Moz.com. Yeah, it is. Moz.com/Explorer is what you're thinking of. You're thinking of the keyword Explorer. We're talking about Open Site Explorer, two things that are different. Yeah. I knew that would ring a bell for you. I think you're thinking the same thing too, Elaine. You're thinking it shows what people are Googling. Yeah. Same thing. You guys are both thinking of that keyword tool. This is different. Catherine, yes, for sure. All right, so listen to Catherine, everybody. She says, and I'm not surprised you know the answer to this, Catherine, because you and I were working very closely together, I think, during that time that we did this training. This is, she says you can use it to check out your own site as well as your competitors' sites to find links that are going back to their site. So in essence, like, this tool will show you all of the links that are pointing to you. is a website or your competitor. Now, we've drawn this out before, and I don't want to belabor this point, but I'm still going to draw it out just briefly. Links are important to a website and its rankings. Right? We've said that if you want to rank towards the top of Google, one of the ways that that takes place is your website right here, and we're going to pretend for a minute this is your website, right? Here's your website. You have to have numerous other pages out here on the internet represented by these little squares here or rectangles that are linking to you, right? That's a big part of SEO. These other random websites out there on the internet that are linking to you. If you have many of these websites, your chances of ranking higher in Google goes up. Now, the theory then behind this tool that I'm sharing with you right now is simply that we want to look at our competitors who are ranking in Google towards the top, and we want to see what kind of links they have pointing to them. Because if we can see and spy, I guess I would call it spying on our competitors. Sometimes we call it link mining, which is be like discovering links from your competitors. If we can see their links, then in essence, we should be able to go steal those for ourselves, or at least get some of the same links, and then rank as well, or compete a little bit better in the rankings with our competitors. I'm trying to think of a good analogy for that on the fly. It's looking into the secret sauce of your competitors, right? It's like that famous barbecue place down the street from our office that sort of boasts about its secret ingredients that go into their barbecue sauce. It's kind of like their main thing, and they're never going to tell you what's in that, right? That's giving away the secret sauce, so to speak. But if as a competitor you could find that information out and use it in your own restaurant and bolster your own sauces and products, you would do it, right? But they would never share that with you because that's top secret. Well, that's the same concept here. Is we want to see who's linking to our competitors, because if we can find out that information, we can use it to our benefit. We now know their secret sauce, so to speak, and then we can garner those links and rank for ourselves. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Does that illustration or analogy that I just came up with on the fly make some sense about why we're using this tool? So this tool is like this is the private investigator that we've just hired to help us figure that out. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to do on your own. And yes, Michelle, this strategy would apply to any kind of website that you're trying to promote, whether it be an affiliate, content-based informational blog, or an e-commerce site. Sure. Precisely, Catherine. I don't know how many of you guys have seen Kung Fu Panda, but she says, or it would be like Kung Fu Panda, and he goes and finds out the secret ingredient to the soup, so on and so forth. Yes, 100%. I've got kids, and so that of course relates and resonates very well with me. So we're discovering that information, right? All right. So here's how the tool works. Okay, first we have to identify who we want to research. And so since in our last few trainings, I feel like as of late we've been using the beekeeping products example, because that's been on my mind lately. We'll pretend for a minute that we're a beekeeping e-commerce store that's selling beekeeping products, okay? So I'm going to do a Google search for one of my keywords that I'm trying to rank for. and I typed in buy beehive, right? So I've got competitors that are ranking here in Google, and I'm not so much curious about these ads right here. Let me point to them. I'm not so much curious about these ads because these are paid for ads. So they're not necessarily ranking particularly well because of links. Those are ranking there because they're paying for it. I'm more concerned with the organic ads, which would be these right here. Right? These are all the organic ads. Truly, that's ranking number 1, this is ranking number 2, this is ranking number 3, this is 4, so on and so forth. Okay, these are the paid ads up here. So what I would do, I'm envious of these companies right now, right? I'm envious of this honeyflow.com. I'm envious of amazon.com right here, or honeybeesonline.com, right? These are all sites that I wish my site were up there towards the top. And so one of the reasons why these sites are there is because they've got some links. There's some links pointing to honeyflow.com that's pushing them up towards the top. I want to know why, right? I want to know how they're getting those links and who those links are. So I'm just going to copy the URL here for honeyflow.com. And boy, I don't know, Catherine, this is kind of an out-of-place ad, isn't it? I don't know why they're pulling a rank there. They shouldn't be. Their AdWords. Whoever's running their AdWords account dropped the ball there, because if I clicked on that ad, that's just costing them money. All right, so honeyflow.com. I'm just going to plug that over into Open Site Explorer here. Right, just copy and paste that on over. Do a search. Now I'm going to see some metrics that'll come up. These right here are some various types of metrics within Moz's tool here. Tonight we're not going to look over these, although we will in the future. Okay, skip over these metrics. Rather, work your way down the page and look here under the inbound links report. Okay, and that's what all of this is. These are all inbound links. These are links that are pointing to their website, in other words. So what I would do then is I would come through here and I would review these links. So for example, let me pick out this one right here. Well, actually, let me break down the different elements of this. So first of all, this right here. So here's one link, here's a second link, here's a third link, fourth, fifth, and sixth, all in a line here. This right here is the web address. You can see that. Okay, if I click on that web address, that's going to take me to a page out on the internet that is linking back to this domain name that I'm studying, which is honeyflow.com. And I know that because they show, here's the URL that it's linking to. Here's the URL again. It's all going to honeyflow.com if you look, okay, right? Now in another color here, I'm going to use green. Let's say I'm looking at number 4 here, okay? And I see the link is to Honeyflow, but look at this right here. This is the anchor text, okay? And on number 3, this is the anchor text of the link. And then on this number 5, this is the anchor text of the link. That just means when I go visit that page, I'm looking for that text because that text is what is actually linked. So I'm going to look for FlowHive right here on number 3 on this page because that text is going to be linked, okay? And then the rest of this data right here are numbers that we're going to review a little bit later, probably not tonight. So let me go out to this one right here, this website. And as I'm looking at the website, tell me what kind of site this actually is. Sorry, let me zoom in a little bit. Thanks for the reminder. What kind of site does this look like to you? Here's an ad up here at the top. Some more ads down the side. Kind of like a blogging type news site. But the title of this article is called Honey on Tap, a new beehive that automatically extracts honey without disturbing bees. Okay. So it's showcasing this very specific type of hive. Which, by the way, these are really kind of cool if you've ever seen them. You can literally like turn the tap and honey just comes straight out of this hive. It's a little gimmicky, but kind of cool nonetheless. All right, so remember, what were we looking here for? We're looking for the link, aren't we? And we established that the link is going to say FlowHive and is going to link over to flowhive.com. Well, if I scroll down, it's like the first page of this article, or the first paragraph of this article, the link is right here. That's the link. On this random site called thisiscolossal.com out on the giant World Wide Web. So the Moz went out there and found this site and basically said, hey, this random site is linking to your competitor. And so we're going to look at this and try to figure out why this site linked. It sounds like they're doing kind of a write-up. From what I can see, if I read through this entire article, it looks like they do kind of a write-up on this FlowHive product. Okay. The question I have to ask myself right now is, do you think if I own a website that sells beehives, do you think I could get the same link? Do you think I could go to this site and somehow get them to link to me? And if so, how would I go about doing that? Now, clearly this is valuable, right? Because the FlowHive company got this link, that's helping them in Google. So my goal here is to do the same thing. I want to get my link on thisiscolossal.com. But A, do you think this site would accept me? And B, how would I go about figuring that out? Yeah, so I mean, they probably ran this report here because the FlowHive is kind of cool. It's kind of a cool product. So I agree with that. Catherine says, you know, if I've got a unique type of beehive, they might. Because that's clearly what the article is about. It's sharing this really cool product. But what's interesting about this site is I'm looking at it, and by the way, I didn't pre-plan any of this. We're doing this on the fly right now. There's a submissions section up here and a contact page. If I click submit, I'm going to learn about what kind of content this will take. So it says Colossal welcomes submissions in the realm of visual art, photography, sculpture, painting, installation, collage, paper, illustration or drawing, street art, architecture, industrial design, textile, animation, documentaries, and anything else involving a strong visual aspect. In the course of daily coverage, we do not cover fashion, book reviews, coloring books, music, so on and so forth. So they kind of list what they're willing to cover. Clearly, they were willing to cover another beehive. I suppose if we have kind of a cool, a cool design, I would imagine that the reason why this was able to be covered here is because they cover like architectural stuff or industrial design type stuff. The FlowHive is a very interesting design. So I think that I might be able to, if I'm selling standard beehives, maybe I've got one that's kind of designed in a very cool way or a unique way, and I might be able to submit a little article about that. So yes, I would be willing to try it. Now, if I'm unsure, if it would actually be something that would work, I might contact Colossal right up here at the top right. And then it says, okay, how to submit if you wish to send tips regarding work that is not your own, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you'd have to read through the rest of this to see how to submit. But it looks like I could write an article, put my own link in the article, and submit it to Colossal here. And in essence, if they include me, right, then in essence, I just got the same link that one of my top competitors got, which will bring me up just a little in the search engine. Now, as to how much it helps my ranking in the search engine, that's yet to be determined. I can evaluate that to some extent because there's metrics that teach us how valuable a link is, and we'll visit that another day. But in its simplest form, that's going to help me with my ranking some. Now, if they don't accept me and I write this article out, well, I've got another article I could post on my blog, or I could submit to another site, or I could use in a guest blog post of some sort. My efforts are not in vain, in other words. Okay? So that's just one site right there. If we go back, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fourth one down here, this is called Board Panda. I'm going to click on this. And this looks like it's another blog of some sort. But it is another review of the Flow Hive, it looks like. And my goodness, I mean, look, it's gotten 400,000 views. Right, you can see that right here. Posted a year ago, they've gotten 400,000 views. It's pretty impressive. This is a little tougher, right? Because this competitor has a truly very unique product, and so, maybe they're able to get some links that I wouldn't be able to get. But yet again, look at this. It's a home, art, photography, animals. It's got an animals section, and there's a place for me to add a post. So if I click Add Post, I might be able to submit my own piece of content here to boardpanda.com. Yet again, with my link inside. They're again getting even another link that's going to hopefully help me rank better and better within Google, right? Catherine says, here's how to get in. If you sell a standard beehive, but as a project where kids can come to paint the beehive and transform it into a piece of art. Yeah, sure. So that's a good idea. That's getting super creative, right? Which, by the way, people do with their beehives. They have people come and, paint different designs on it. I'm sure this is the useless information that you guys don't care about, but bees, they recognize the color. And so a lot of time this year when I set up my two hives, they were both white. And so we had to put some different markings on the hives so the bees wouldn't get confused and go to the wrong hive. That actually does happen a little bit. Anyway, there's your useless fact of the day, right? Bottom line is there's some opportunity here. I hope you guys are seeing this right now. Now, I've had clients before tell me, Trevor, I've done the link building and I've submitted to directories and gotten on blogs and done some different things, and I'm out of ideas. I'm out of ways to get links. I'm not sure what else I can do to really improve my search engine rankings that much. I tell them, if you haven't been using this strategy right here, you're crazy, because there's an unlimited amount of potential and opportunity here. We've spent a couple minutes together, and had I actually had a company selling beehive equipment, I would have two opportunities here in just seconds of places that I could go and potentially get a link. Off of researching one competitor, imagine if I actually took some time and really sat down and researched a lot of my competitors and made a big list of the places that they're getting links and made a plan to go out and do that myself. I would have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of opportunities to get the same types of links as them. And as I get those links, guess what's happening to my rankings? It's got positive pressure on my site to push me right up towards the first page of Google. You got to be a little creative, right? This isn't one of those straightforward strategies like submitting your site to directories where you go, you find the directory, you submit. You go, you find the directory, you submit. You have to be a little more creative and ask yourself the question, when I come to a place like boardpanda.com, how did my competitor get there? And how did they get their link? And What did they do to get their link? You have to be creative, but we can do more examples of that later. Russell, you say would your post have to be related to beehives? Yeah, I mean probably, and I would want it to be related to bees or beehives. I mean, depending on the site, right? If this site has an animal section, maybe it doesn't have to be about hives itself, but it could be about just bees in general. And I could write up a little article about bees and then have a link there somewhere that connects back to my site. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about a product specifically. For links in general, if I have multiple articles on a common topic, can I add a link in one that points to one of my other blogs? Oh yeah, sure. Sure, you can interlink between pieces of content or amongst pieces of content. Sure. All right, so this is kind of high level, how to use Open Site Explorer. Maybe I'll do a series on this. I mean, we barely scratched the surface tonight. I saw a lot of you looking at this for the first time, had no idea what this was. And so I wanted to kind of give you a high level review of it, and maybe we can dig down into some depth on how to do this strategy well. I'd like to teach you more about some of the numbers, about the authority and the page metrics, and and these numbers over here to the right hand side of the page, that's going to help us learn a little bit more about what links are more valuable, because not all links are the same. It's like our presidential election, right? A conservative vote in the state of California doesn't really mean a whole lot because that's going to be a more liberal state, correct? A liberal vote out in the state of Texas isn't going to really count for a whole lot, is it? But if you're in one of those swing states, your vote does mean a lot. And in a similar way, if you get a link from a website with high credibility, that link is a very worthwhile vote upwards for you to rank higher in Google. Whereas other links probably won't help you a whole lot. So we'll cover that in some other trainings. But I hope this was valuable to you. If you're not using this strategy, please start using it. And I wish you the best doing it. Russell, to your question, it can help in the rankings. I mean, linking between content is good. It's better when you're getting links from outside external sources. But having content that links appropriately between other pieces certainly doesn't hurt. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for being here. Just for next week, I'm not sure exactly how our webinar schedule is going to shake out. There's a good chance that many of them will be canceled due to the holiday. Certainly this one will be because that falls on Thanksgiving, Thursday. So don't plan on this one next week. Most of you guys should be filling your bellies and taking naps, right, on Thanksgiving. But we'll do it the following week, which would be on December 1st, okay? All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful week and a good holiday. I'll see you guys next time.